In this video, we're going to be taking a first look at the new Taylormade drivers that are going to be released in February of 2019. Let's go, let's wrap.
Hit the ball!
Hey guys, David Folk here. On this channel, we do instructional videos and golf gear reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. All right, guys, today we're taking a first look here at the new Taylormade driver, the marketing that's been out there for Taylormade's screw face drivers that they're going to be claiming hashtag everyone gets faster in February 1st of 2019 here in the US. I believe it's February 15th. Across the Atlantic over there in Europe and across the world. And I'm going to show you right now Taylormade's advertisement in case you haven't seen it, how they're encouraging and just look at all these race car wheels and jet engines and all these things that are super duper fast, and that's exactly what you're going to get. Let's watch. Now, as we come back to Earth and we look at that nice, shiny new driver that everybody wants to try, it's obviously limiting because the USGA has limits. When we talk about the coefficient of restitution, we talk about the CT, which is going to be how long the ball can stay on the face before coming off of it. That spring, like that trampoline effect, which is going to be 239 microseconds. Now, there is some tolerance there, and according to USGA, the absolute highest tolerance you can get to is 257 microseconds on the face. That being said, the USGA, I have read, is not necessarily interested in allowing OEMs to push the limit to get the microseconds around the 250 mark. If you go above mid 240s, they're going to be taking a deeper dive into your company, into the faces to see exactly what's going on, because the actual mark that they've set in place is 239 with tolerance, so you can go above that a little bit. But because today's manufacturing has such tight tolerances, OEMs are able to go above that without going above the 257 and be able to play around the low 240s for that trampoline effect. Let's get into what we know about the Taylormade screw face driver. And I saw this little tweet from my buddy Fried Eggs Golf Randy. I'm so excited to see what he produces when Taylormade sends him a screw face driver, because it's gonna be epic. Not epic flash, just epic. It literally is. They're just making it too easy for him. I can only imagine all of the things that have popped into his brain. If it's anything remotely close to the speed foam with the P790s, it's gonna be awesome. So I'll post his channel down below. If you guys have not seen him, I'll post it down below so you guys can take a look at that video, and be sure to subscribe to his channel because it's pretty fun. Let's talk about Taylormade's screw face driver, specifically going to be talking about the face because that's going to be pretty much the story of 2019 for all the major OEMs, is how they're making the face more consistent across more of the face, so you're going to maintain higher ball speeds, maintain lower spin, so that you're going to get better distance across the face, not just on the center of the club face. They've added some speed foam or whatever kind of stuff inside the driver, attached it to the face, because their face is so hot and because they don't want to get in trouble with the USGA. They've had to put screws in to keep the CT down so that it meets the standards of the USGA, because their technology is so awesome, and they're just being held back by the man. And from what I've understood, really the idea is Taylormade is using the screw ports as the visible technology for what's actually happening inside the club to keep us interested in that. You know, it actually brings me back to looking at the old persimmon woods, right? That had the screws in the face itself. And obviously the question when I looked at this is what happens when I hit the screw on the face? Like, what's gonna happen to it? And my guess is some sort of structural failure after so many hits on the screws. Yeah, I look at your screwing in weight ports, which is essentially what it is, to a titanium face. I would imagine at some point the stress is going to cause the titanium face to crack or begin to have issues. You know, they've already had issues with their M1 drivers where you had a cracking across the crown. With the irons, with the speed slots, you know how the little polymer kept popping out in the first iterations. I can only imagine what's going to happen with these, since this is the first iteration of this, and before they finally fine-tune it to really be able to produce this and keep it solid. I have a feeling that this is going to be sent back to Taylormade quite often, probably more so than other previous drivers, when people start hitting them literally on the screws as opposed to, you know, hitting it really well, which is just the same. Anyway, so face structure, what we're talking about is going to be variable thickness face. It's going to be, again, trying to allow for the maximum CT and the maximum trampoline effect across more of the face. There are going to be goo structures or speed foam, some sort of that, stuck to faces to try and dampen it. Another aspect to it, from what I've gathered, is that there's going to be an updated track system. So the biggest question I have right now with Taylormade's screw face driver, when you have that weight so far forward in the face, that is going to impact where the mass is and where the center of gravity is and how the club performs overall. You know, that's kind of the overarching question, is how do you have two screws in the low, heel, and toe and still maintain the technology and what's going on inside the actual club? You know, moving that much mass around is going to impact the club. Are we going to get into another SLDR type scenario where the weight was so far forward, when you caught it awesome, it flew like a rocket, but when you missed it by just a smidgen, it just went so far offline all the time? Is that kind of where we're going? I'm not exactly sure. One of my buddies loved the SLDR, you know, swore by it for a long time. I had an SLDR for a year and just, like I said, when I hit well, bombed it. But when I didn't, it just went all over the place. The dispersion for me was just a no-go. So looking at the weight in the front, so much mass in the front of the face, so close to the front of the face, is that going to pull the CG too far forward and start having issues where dispersion and low spinning knuckleballs that just kind of fly wherever? Is that going to be an issue? You know, because you're moving the MOI forward, so you're reducing the amount of MOI as opposed to something like the P&G 400 Max, which pulled it all the way back, which is going to be the highest MOI driver out there today. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I look at this and wonder what's going to happen when I hit it on the screws, and where is the CG going to be located with the screws in the face? You know, that's the two kind of questions that I have, and I'm one who's huge into consistency and minimizing dispersion, which is why I like higher MOI drivers. I get the idea with trying to maximize, you know, the CT, or maximize the face, the spring-like effect off the face to try and get as much distance as possible. For more of the face, that makes sense. I can kind of, we'll see if that's going to actually happen, but that's where the distance is going to come from on average for the majority of golfers today, because technology in the center of the face is pretty much done. So when you hit it more on the heel or more on the toe, that's where the average distance is going to improve. So I see what they're trying to do, but the structural issues that I see when you hit it on the screws and where the center of gravity is going to be here, those are the two questions that I'm going to have currently before I see any sort of other information. I look forward to hearing your comments down below, guys. What questions you have about the new Taylormade driver? Do you have any concerns that maybe I brought up or I didn't bring up that you have? Post those down below. I look forward to hearing from you. Any questions? Post those as well. I try to get to every comment and question. And of course, guys, while you're down there, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.